What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julia and it is no secret that leg days are my favorite days of the week. So I thought it'd be fun to take you guys through and also talk you guys through my exact lower body lift that I'm about to get into. It is going to be focusing on hamstrings and glutes today, and I am focusing on hypertrophy training whenever I train lower body because I'm trying to grow my glutes, okay? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I want a bigger butt, so that is why I focus on hypertrophy whenever I lift lower body, because hypertrophy training is all about growing that muscle in size. After the workout, I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a deep dive into how to actually structure and program your workouts for your specific goal and your specific phase of training. If you didn't know this, I am a National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer, so I thought it'd be fun and also super helpful for me to use my knowledge and skill set to help you all program your own workouts. But we're gonna lift first and then get into the little educational piece. I begin my workouts with a little 5-minute jog on the treadmill, nothing too crazy. I literally do this at speed 6. It's just to get my body moving, get my legs warm, and get my heart rate a little bit elevated before I get into my lift. After that, I take it into some lower body dynamic stretches. So here you can see I'm doing some hip openers, then I take it into hamstring sweeps, then I step out into a straddle and I kind of do some hamstring bounces, reaching towards my toes, some deep lateral lunges, and then I finish up with a little groin and hamstring stretch, just really getting my lower body ready. Then I get into some glute activation. This step is absolutely necessary for me to actually feel these lifts I'm about to be doing in my glutes rather than my quads taking over. So I start by doing 2 sets of 20 banded squats, 2 sets of 20 banded good mornings, 2 sets of 20 banded squat side steps, and 2 sets of 20 kickbacks each leg. After that, I get into the actual lift. So I pretty much always start my hamstring and glute lower body days with barbell back squats. You'll see here I did 2 sets of 15 squats with no weight on the bar at all, just kind of getting used to the motion. Then it was time to add some weight and get into my actual working sets. So up next, I did 2 sets of 12 reps at 95 pounds. Since I'm working in hypertrophy training, I am not using my max load. I'm going at a moderate intensity. After those 2 sets, I bumped up the weight again and I did 3 sets of 8 reps at 135 pounds. So clearly 135 pounds is nowhere near my 1 rep max, but it's also not a cakewalk. This weight is challenging but doable for 3 sets of 8 reps, and that's how I know it's the perfect sweet spot for these squats in my hypertrophy training. After barbell back squats, I moved into my second exercise, which was barbell deficit reverse lunges. You can see one foot is up on a plate as the other foot is stepping back into the lunge. As you lunge, you want to think about both knees bending to 90 and pressing through that front heel to stand. I did 5 sets of 8 reps each leg at 75 pounds. And then moving on to exercise 3, I went into barbell RDLs. I did 5 sets of 12 reps at 95 pounds. So whenever you are doing these, you want to think about sending your butt back as you hinge at your hips with a flat back and braced core. Try to keep the barbell close to your legs as you're going down and a soft bend in your knees. Next up, exercise 4, barbell hip thrusts. I did 4 sets of 12 reps at 135 pounds, thinking about pressing through my heels and keeping my core braced. And then I finished with a superset. So the first exercise were dumbbell Kang squats, 4 sets of 10 reps at 25 pounds. It's basically like doing a good morning or RDL and then dropping down into a squat and then reversing that motion. Paired with that, I did glute ham raises, 4 sets of 10 with that same 25-pound weight, squeezing my glutes. And then to wrap up the workout, I finished with a 10-minute incline walk on incline 12 and speed 3.5. And then you know me, always gotta finish with that post-workout ab check. Alrighty guys, we are back and it is time to actually talk about the phases of training and how to program your workouts for each specific phase. Now keep in mind, I am a NASM certified personal trainer, so all of these phases of training and different programming tactics that I'm gonna be talking about are coming directly from my NASM CPT educational resources. So if you're going through a different provider or different certification course, the names of the actual phases might differ a little bit, but when it comes to the actual programming, it should be pretty similar across the board. But just know my certification is through NASM. That is what I am trained in, and that is how I program for my clients. So within NASM, there's the OPT model, or the Optimum Performance Training model. In that model, there are 3 phases of training, but the second phase has 3 sub-phases within it. So phase 1 is stabilization endurance, phase 2 is strength, but within strength, you have strength endurance, hypertrophy, and max strength. And then phase 3 is power training. Obviously, with all the different names to all these phases, you can tell they all serve different purposes and they all cater to different types of goals. This is the really cool part about personal training. It kind of puts the personal in personal training because you can really individualize your client's program to them, their goals, their needs, and their fitness level. When I first became a certified personal trainer years and years ago, I was taught to take my clients through those phases progressively, moving from one to the next, kind of like climbing the rungs of a ladder. Once you're done with one, you move on to the next. But that was a long time ago, and since then, time has gone on, lots of research has been conducted. I've completed all of my continuing ed, I got recertified, I'm now working on new continuing ed, I've listened to tons of the NASM podcasts, and now NASM suggests a more integrative approach where you combine these phases of training to make a better, well-rounded program for your clients. Okay, for the sake of explaining sets, reps, and actual programming, we're gonna pretend the OPT model, which I know I said is 3 phases, but we're gonna pretend it's 5 phases. If you remember, the strength phase has 3 sub-phases within it. So we're gonna make each of those their own phase. Phase 1 is stabilization endurance, phase 2 is strength endurance, phase 3 is hypertrophy training, phase 4 is maximum strength, and phase 5 is power. So remember those middle 3 there, that strength endurance, hypertrophy, and max strength, those all fall within the strength phase, but for the sake of explaining sets and reps, we're gonna break it up into the 5. All right, next I quickly wanna run through the 5 phases of training and what the purpose of each phase is. So phase 1, stabilization endurance, is the foundation to it all, okay? This phase is all about improving your client's core stability, their balance, and just ensuring that proper form and technique so that they are better prepared for those future phases. Phase 2, strength endurance, is kind of when that traditional strength training starts coming into play. So weights increase a little bit, intensity increases a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. You might have some supersets in there, and it's really just getting your body used to those biomechanical motions that you need that gained stabilization in order to complete. Phase 3, hypertrophy, while yes, we are still getting stronger, we are really talking about increasing the muscle's size. So this is done by focusing on high volumes at a moderate to high intensity with minimal rest periods. The combination of these 3 is what causes the cellular changes that in turn result in an overall increase in your muscle's size. Phase 4, max strength, is all about enhancing your client's abilities to produce maximum muscular force. This is why you're always working at or near max loads, also with max effort, and allowing yourself plenty of rest between sets. And phase 5, power, is all about using high force and high velocity exercises to increase your client's power. These exercises are often supersetted with a maximum strength exercise. And this superset is often made up of 2 exercises that are biomechanically pretty similar but have very different loads. So for example, you might go right from a very heavy barbell back squat into something like a box jump, right from that max strength into your power. So when it comes to phase 1, stabilization endurance, and phase 2, strength endurance, you want to be doing 1 to 3 sets of 12 to 20 reps, and the weight should be about 50 to 70% of your 1 rep max, slow tempo, and 0 to 90 seconds rest. When it comes to phase 3, hypertrophy training, you want to be doing 3 to 5 sets of 6 to 12 reps, working at 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max, moderate tempo, and 0 to 60 seconds rest. When it comes to phase 4, max strength, you want to be doing 4 to 6 sets of 1 to 5 reps, working at 85 to 100% of your 1 rep max, focusing on a fast, explosive tempo, and then taking 3 to 5 minutes rest. And lastly, for phase 5, power, you want to be doing 3 to 6 sets of 1 to 10 reps, working at 30 to 45% of your 1 rep max, or less than or equal to 10% of your body weight. Once again, you're going to be focusing on fast, explosive movements, and then you're going to take 3 to 5 minutes rest. Power exercises are often supersetted with a max strength exercise, so you'll go immediately from that strength exercise into your power exercise. Now that we've gotten through all the technical stuff, I just want to quickly reiterate that point I touched on earlier about programming. Remember that whenever you are making workouts for yourself or for your clients, the programming itself doesn't have to go from one phase to the next phase to the next phase. Make it that integrative approach, combine those phases of training, make yourself or your clients a very well-rounded workout and well-rounded workout program. It's kind of like use it or lose it. I mean, think about it, if you go from stabilization endurance and then right into strength endurance and then right into a hypertrophy, but never touch those other phases again, you'll end up losing those phases. So if you never go back to stabilization endurance, you might find that later down the road when you're maybe in max strength or power, that your core stability or your balance is way off. That's why it's so important to include those in your programming throughout. And I promise you will just feel so much more equipped, so much more fit and functional whenever you are working through these workouts. And when I say combine those phases of training into one workout and one program, I don't mean that you need phase 1 through 5 in every single workout that you do. Be smart with it. Obviously, if you are mainly focusing on building strength, majority of your workout is going to be within that strength phase. You don't need to include power, but I do think that stabilization endurance is important. No, you don't need to do it every single day, every single time you work out, but I do think it's important to kind of include some of these things every once in a while and not just stay stuck in your phase, move to the next one, stuck in that phase, move to the next one. Take that integrative approach every so often, kind of sprinkle in things from other phases. So for example, right now, I told you guys I'm really focusing on hypertrophy in terms of my lower body workouts, but when it comes to my upper body workouts, I'm more so focusing on that strength endurance phase. And right now, I actually don't include really any power training within my workouts. Yes, I'll include some like speed, agility, quickness, and plyometric stuff in my Saturday full body workouts, but not every single workout has a touch of that or a touch of stabilization endurance. But I do make a point to sprinkle them in throughout my programming. All right, I have been talking forever, so we are gonna wrap this video up here. I really hope that wasn't too confusing. I know it was a ton of information and I probably should have split it up into multiple videos. I'm personally not the best auditory learner, so hopefully you guys are still with me, and I tried to include some graphics on some of those topics while I was going through them because that's always helpful for me. But if you're creating workouts for yourself or creating workouts for clients, I highly recommend learn by doing. Practice these different types of programming, practice that integrative approach, and see what works best for you, what works best for your clients, and how your clients or your body reacts to these different types of programming. I personally love like the science behind personal training. That was the main thing that drew me to it. Also love helping people reach their goals, but I think it is so interesting that just adjusting a few little things can make such a big difference. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this little video about how to properly program your workouts. If you want to see more videos like this, just let me know because I would love to make them. But if you did like this, make sure to give it a like, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you all next time. Bye.